Hello, welcome back to Funtime Crafts 24/7. This is another Let's Make video, and what we're going to play with today is we're going to play with another punch board. I have so many of them, and my fellow crafters, uh, you guys have all said that you get stuff and that you don't necessarily play with it. It just looks like a really good idea. And that's kind of what I've done with all these punch boards. I picked them up, I've used a few of them, but then most of the other ones are like, oh, that's a great idea. I love it. I'll use it all the time. And then I never pick it up again. I stash it and that is where it stays. So I thought, we're going to get these buggers out and we're going to use them. And so that's what we're doing today. We're using another one. And so the one I pulled out was this fun We Are Memory Keepers pillow box punch board. I thought we could make some fun 4th of July table favors, little party favors, something similar to like this. All these other ones I have on the table were basically for size reference, so I could show you what how big you can actually make them and things. And so these were using a 6x6 paper, both of these. I found that was like the ideal size to be able to fit most fun little trinket type items in, whether you're doing games, coloring pages and crayons, you're doing candies. You could put all kinds of different things in these Mad Libs, keychains, any of the party like type stuff that you get from whether a party store, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Walmart, Oriental Trading, Target. They generally all have like party sections where you can go and pick up like bags of miscellaneous trinkets, party favor type stuff that you could stuff in these, that most of all that stuff will fit. Like if you're wanting to, you could do bubbles, you could do what were the other things? Like the long ones, I was thinking you could put like glow sticks in them, especially if you're doing like a 4th of July barbecue and you go into doing like a bonfire, waiting for it to get dark at night. You could put glow sticks in them, so that would be really fun. The big long bubbles, you could do like, if you want to do candies, you could do like the cowtails or pixie sticks, things like that. But for the most part, like most of the little games and things, the little knick-knack type games, you can pick up a bag of those at any of those stores for pretty inexpensive. Definitely like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something like that. Oriental Trading for sure. If you have, time to order it. I wouldn't have time to order it because it takes over a week. And 4th of July is this next Friday. So yeah, I wouldn't have time for that. But most of the other people that live, closer to shipping's pretty quick. You could definitely do that, and that would be a very inexpensive way to go. But yeah, like you could do like Mad Libs for like conversation type deals. You could do little word search, crossword puzzles, coloring pages for the kids and crayons, things like that. If you didn't want to do the candy route and you want to do something simple, you could put like jokes in them. You actually kind of fill them like you do the Christmas crackers that we did. Similar things like that you could put in these types of table favors. So there you go there. Hang on one sec. Okay, so there it is. Enough of that. So, yeah, so what you can actually make with these is you can make as long of a one as, let's see, this is a 12-inch sheet of paper that I started with, and it turns out to be, you could stuff something in it that's about 10 inches long. This is the longest one. And primarily the reason is because generally 12-inch paper is generally the longest that most people have is scrapbook size, I think is why. But you could technically actually do a 12-inch long piece of paper, don't punch one end of it, do another one that's only on one end, and then glue the two pieces together. And then you would end up with a 20-inch long one. So if you're, I don't know, trying to do a wrap a baton, or something like that, you could definitely do that. Yeah, something long like that. There you go. You wanted to wrap like this set of brush markers. Actually, this would fit in here. These cute little, I got these off of Amazon. Aren't these adorable? They were really inexpensive. It comes with all these rainbow of colors, and then they're like these fun little, like you can pop them off. You could use a couple of them at a time, like so they're longer, or you could just use them singularly. I bought a couple tubes of these, and these are just a hoot because they come in like the different colors. Like this is like the rainbow, and then this one has like your blacks and grays and browns and things. So I bought each of them, and I don't think they were very expensive. I don't know, but a fun little gift idea though, for your little art and crafter um, person or friend that's into that. Something fun to give them, and you could wrap it in a pillow box because it fits in the longest one, and then but anyhow, so that's but yeah, you could glue them together, and then you can make it even longer. I don't think you could put a pogo stick in there because it has feet, but definitely a baton or something twirly like that. And then, so then the smallest one you can do is a 4-inch piece of paper, and they all have to be 6 inches wide. That's like, they have to be 6 inches wide. They can be whatever length from 4 inches to 12 inches, but then you can glue them together if you just do the one end. But this little 4-incher, you can stuff something in it that's 2 inches. If you put it on the diagonal, it might fit at 3 inches. So this is the tiniest one. Isn't that the cutest thing ever? And then, so then I just messed around with, this was a 5-incher, which you can stuff like 3.5 inch in. And then these were the 6-inch ones. The 6x6s, you can stuff something that's about 4 inches long in. And they end up being about roughly 2.25 wide. So, they're a little squishy. Let's see, the depth of them is approximately about an inch, 1.25 inches. You might be able to get it a little bit rounder, and then they'd be a bit narrower. But yeah, and so I just made a couple of those, trying to, just kind of the longest, tiniest, middle, and then what I found was like the nicest was about the 6-inch, and you could get out of a scrapbook sheet of paper, you could do 4. So you would need a 6x6-inch piece of paper to do these sizes here. And then the fun thing with these, because they're 4th of July, I use the Anna Griffin. Oh, whoops. Hang on one second. I just dropped everything on the floor. Hold on. Okay. I had to go and find all my dies I dropped. And normally my little guardian dust bunnies trap everything and like keep it from going completely into the dark. But I actually ended up relocating them to the bin. I actually cleaned in here, so now they can just have free range and just slide where and go wherever they want, and there's nothing there to stop them. So yeah, we had to go into the depths. But this is what we're going to use, is we're using this Anna Griffin stars aligned dies, and it's a super fun set. These are your examples that you have there for inspirations. These are the dies. And so it comes with this really cool a background die, and then this star die. And this is like, it cuts out all the intricate little stars. Like, it's a really neat die. And then it comes with a whole bunch of fun different styles of stars. So you get these layering ones, and then you get all these fancy ones, and yeah, so super cool. So we're gonna use that today, and you can go like as fancy or as simple as you want with these. It's just however much time you have to spend on them. And then the other thing I'll let you know is, when you're doing these, you want to be careful when you're scoring that you don't press too hard in the paper, because when you go to fold it, sometimes they crack if you like indent it too hard. But if you're gentle and you just kind of give it a soft score line, for the most part, you'll be okay. Because I did several of like this one. And this same paper I accidentally did, like this was the first one I did. I accidentally, on the first one, I went, oh, wow, yeah, I just went too deep with the score line. I was too rough with the paper. But then I was a little bit more gentle on this, and you could see where it worked just fine. So just have a gentle hand when you're scoring. We don't have to score the death out of it, So you can use like just your regular, this is like Michael's, this is Park Lane paper. It's not your expensive paper. It's just like, I want to say about a 60-pound cardstock. It's not very thick or sturdy. You don't need super sturdy stuff or anything. You can also have it towards one-sided, like this is just white. You can use that. You can use double-sided, whatever you want to do. But the single-sided works really good. So yeah, whatever you have in your stash is just fine. And the fun thing about this is you can go just basic cardstock, or you can go decorative cardstock. Either way, they look super cute. The other thing is, to embellish it, you just need scraps. You need 6-inch long scraps, and then however wide to do the layering that you want to do is all you need. And then I chose to do Anna Griffin Matte Gold, but you could do it in, like, you could do those in blue, these stars in blue. You can in red, in metallic, glitter, whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be, you know, it can be whatever you want it to be, and you could go as basic and simple as you want. Because, I mean, let's be real. They're going to tear these open. They have simple little fun trinket gifts in them, and then you're going to trash them, right? So you have to keep the perspective in mind that these are getting trashed. They're not an heirloom to pass on from generation to generation by any means. They're rip them open, have fun, right? So there we go there. So, but I'm going to make fancy ones with you. And the other thing too is, if all you have is plain white ribbon, curling ribbon, this is the cheap stuff. It's like a gajillion feet for like nothing. And I've had this roll for years and years. But this curling ribbon, if this is all you have, do not fear. Get your markers out. So your alcohol markers out. You can color this. And sometimes the colors are prettier than what they even come in anyways, but you can also match. Like this, I color with an alcohol marker, and then this is the red that you get in this curling ribbon. And I really like this deep red even more. So you basically want one that has a chisel tip, and you just take the end of it before you curl it. So this is just off of the roll, and put it on your ribbon. Put the chisel tip flat on your ribbon, and then you just pull. And don't worry if you don't get all of it. It does not matter. And generally, if you get it in the right spot, you just pull. Sometimes you have to realign and twist it. But it's really simple. You will probably get inky though. So wear a glove, gloves or whatever, if you don't want to get your, a bunch of ink on your fingers. Whee! But like, isn't this really fast? And then I do both sides. See, you do get ink, but that's okay. That's okay. That's all part of having fun. And then you just flip it over and do the other side. And then don't worry if it's not perfect. It doesn't matter. Nobody notices any of it. You will never know. No one will know. It will just look really fun, and everything will look the same. And like, right? How easy is that? Like, that is one solid pull. Woohoo! Boom. And then you go back and do the ends. And do this. But be careful too, because you want to make sure, this, I can clean this off. This is craft mat, so not a big deal. But I get the most of it with the scratch paper. You could do it on a silicone mat, whatever you want to do. But like, right? Isn't that pretty? And it is not perfect at all. And then it dries usually pretty quick. And then after it's been a couple hours, it doesn't come off. I haven't had any problems with it coming off because it is alcohol marker. So it's pretty permanent. So there you go. And I've done red, and I've done blue. I've done pink. And it's super pretty, right? I didn't have any blue, so did the same thing. And look, it's not perfect. Like, that's not perfect. But when it's all curled up sitting on a gift, a fun little decor piece, it doesn't matter. Nobody notices any of that. So you shouldn't worry about it either. Just have fun. Okay, so there is that. So just a little tip before I forget. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started with the little tutorial for these, right? Okay, and then, and doilies. If I don't end up using doilies are a great way to decorate. So these are wait. These are a 4-inch doily, which will fit perfect on here. They'll just wrap around. You just adhere them like that. And then you can embellish the front of these. These are gold. And then you can even do white ones. You can get these in all different sizes, and these are super cheap, really inexpensive. And then you just wrap a layer around that. Do something like that, put some ribbon on it, and you know, very super quick and fun, right? These are really cheap. And these you can get in all different colors, all different sizes. Walmart has a good selection of them. Amazon, anywhere online. Darrigan, Michaels, Hobby Lobby. Any place that has a party section like Target, Walmart, those types of stores that have the party sections will generally have doilies. The gold ones might not be readily available, but I would say your best chance is probably either Hobby Lobby, Michaels, maybe Target or Walmart. But then online as well on Amazon too, because that's where I got these. But yeah, I would say probably Hobby Lobby or Michaels for the gold, possibly. But unless you have another type of craft store, those are basically what I have here that I would look at if I wanted it right now. Otherwise, I just order everything online. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a 6x6 inch piece of paper. So to use this board, whatever length you do doesn't matter. The width always has to be 6 inches wide. So I had a piece of cardstock. Obviously, I have absconded with it, and I'm not sure. Hang on one sec. Let me get some cardstock. Okay, so I got my guillotine trimmer out and a sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock. And so I'm just going to do 6x6. And so like I was saying, you can get 4 if you do 6x6s. And this is a different blue, but it's all blues and reds and white, so, or gold. So I think it'll all go with the basic 4th of July theme, especially if I stick with like the same types of scraps that I've been using, the same scraps. I think it'll work out perfect. But yeah, so now that'll get me 2 more, and then I'll get 2 more, and that'll be super fun. So now we're done with this, and you can even just do white. You could do white cardstock, and you could just get stencils, stamps, and just stamp the heck out of the backgrounds. You can make your own. You could like make your own of these, and what I would do is I would cut it first and then ink and stamp it up. So now for the tutorial of the pillow box part. Oh, it's 17 minutes in. Sorry about that. What you're going to do is you're going to take the edge. Make sure your 6 inches is going this way, horizontal. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the left edge of it and you're going to line it up with this gold line here and that point there. And you're going to make sure, see it says start line right there. And you're going to, so basically, so there is a start line here, and then you're going to have a vertical score line that you have to do, and then you're going to have a curved score line that you're going to have to do. So at first, you're going to make sure that you're up to this edge, and on this score line next to that point is your first step, what you want to do. And so up square at the top, square with my score line, or my start line there, and I'm going to press to punch, and then I'm going to take the scoring tool that's located at the bottom, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to score this line, this vertical line, and be careful when you're going off the page. You don't need to go, you don't have to worry about the top edge. So you're going to score this one. Just be careful so you don't punch a hole is all. And then what you want to do is you want to follow this curve here. There's a score line here. And just be gentle. You don't have to be. And then, it didn't. But sometimes it does that. But I just take my scissors. I don't worry about it. And I just trim it off. See, like so. Because this piece gets pushed in and you don't even see it. So then what you want to do is you want to take this line. You want to line it up here. And then you want to take this curve and you want to match it there. So this goes to the point there. And then you're just making sure that it's all the way butted up to the top there. That you're following this curved edge here and that this lines up with that one. So then what you're going to do is you're going to punch. You're going to score. Be careful when you get to the end though, remember, down here. And then follow this one. And you're not having to do... you're not having to do it like really. So then you're going to move it over one more time. So you're going to do this 3 times. You're going to match the curve and then make sure your line is there. You're going to punch. You're lined up with your point there. And then you're going to remember to follow the, and score the curve. So then what you're going to do is you're going to turn it and you're going to put it in the back, because there's a, actually, yeah, you're going to turn it and you're going to go like this, and there's a slot in the back and you have to punch, and it's going to do a thumb hole like that, right? Pretty cool, right? So then what you're going to do is you're going to flip the paper over, and you're going to, the one that's the full one, you're going to line that edge up on here by the tip, that point, making sure you're square, and butt it all the way up to this edge up here. You're going to punch, and then all you have to do, oh, whoops. Then all you have to do is you have to score the curve. You don't have to do the straight part. Like that, because it goes basically there and it will fold. So now you're going to ticker tape over like you did last time. You're going to make sure you're straight with the point there. You're going to punch, and then you're going to follow the curve. Whoops. Oh, don't go off. And I punched, yeah. Okay, and then you're going to ticker tape down all the way, making sure your curve matches and your points lined up. You're going to punch, and then you're going to follow the curve. Oops. Okay, and now what you want to, oh, see, it didn't do it, which is fine. And honestly, it's angle, because when it's right in front of you and you can push straight down on it, you don't have any problems. But because of how the camera is, my angle's really weird. And so now what you want to do is you want to flip it over like this to where the skinny part is to the left. And you're going to line it up on the back with this. There's 3 curves. And you want to make sure you're punching the same one. And then you're going to punch your thumb hole there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to cut these off, because this skinny one is your glue tab. Just follow the score line around, and that's why you want to make sure you have the score line, is because then you know where to cut it. And there you go. And now what you want to do is you want to fold on all those score lines. And what happens is when you fold this one over, it should line up with this edge here and be nice and straight. And then that's where you're going to glue it, is right there. And it looks like that. And I didn't do a very good job. So when you're doing it, you want to make sure that it's all nice and lined up and looks pretty. Yeah, but once you get the decorations on, you don't even notice it. So you could use score tape, you could use glue, you could use both. You could use a tape runner and glue, whatever you want. I am going to use ATG and glue, because it's quick. And make sure that you get all the way up to the corners. Because it'll just, in the end, your product will look nicer. And then you're just going to fold this. So this is folded in. Then you're just going to fold this one over on top, secure it, press it down, burnish it really good. Just press it. That burnishing just means to press really good. And making sure you're like pushing the glue into the fibers of the paper. Wipe off your schmutz if you got any. And then make sure that you can, that it's not glued together. And then I would see, like there. So I'm just going to let that set up for now. While we're cutting our pieces out. And so basically what I found was this die ended up being perfect for these pillow boxes, because this die, this layering die, is 4 inches. That's why I did 6 inches, a 6-inch one. It's 4 inches wide, but it's 6 inches long, which is the perfect length to wrap around the pillow box. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, actually, we don't, well, yeah, because I was going to make this one with you. Let's just stick to the plan. We're going to see, so I'm going to cut this out in gold, Anna Griffin Matte Gold. I used this star here for the center, and I'm going to cut this out in gold. And I also used I used this Tim Holtz punch, and I used my little confetti punch from my other punch board for the two couple little stars that are in the center, which I thought were really fun. I popped them up on dimensionals. I'm going to use the Tim Holtz one because I love the size of this, but you could definitely use this one that's in the center. Would work perfectly as well. I like that this one is just a hair smaller. And I don't have to run it through the machine. I can just punch it out of whatever tiny scrap I find, and it's quick. So these two in gold, and then what I'm going to do is, let's see, I need a strip, so all my layering strips, I'm making sure they're 6 inches long. So this is a 6-inch piece that I've already cut out of a scrap. And basically, like these, so I have a bunch of the stars showing. I make sure that my bottom layer is 1.5 inches. My top layer is 1 inch, and that way you can see both patterns. And then I just alternate from whichever, and it's just kind of whatever. Like I could even do this blue one here. This is a scrap, and I was doing the star out of this one. That I'm gonna use for the middle. It's double-sided. It's a double-sided paper as well. But I think I can actually get I think this is about 6 inches, I bet. It looks like 6, maybe. Oh, it's only 5 1/4. Okay, never mind. I'll get a different one. I need a scrap piece, so let me get another scrap. Oh, nah. Oh, it's blue. Well, I could pop that up on top, and then we could go red. Wow, this is kind of a purpley blue. I didn't notice that. That's okay, though. Maybe we should go red on the bottom then. Okay, so I'm going to do this as my 1-inch strip, and I'm going to find a red layer. Whether I just do plain red cardstock or I find another pattern. Let me find something and I'll be right back. But I'm going to get 1.5 inches off this one. No, 1 inch off this one. And the red layer is going to be 1.5 inches by both of them by 6. And then cut these two out in gold, and I'll be right back. I wanted to let you know too that a 4 by 6 inch piece of gold will get this die cut out for you. And then if you use a whole sheet of 12 by 12, that gets you 6 of these background pieces. You'll get 6 out of 1 sheet of 12 by 12 Anna Griffin matte gold. And then you just need, several scraps. I cut 2 out of this 4 by 6 piece. And I think I'll be able to get 6. So one of these will get me 6. One 4 by 6 piece will probably get me 6 of the stars I need for the top. So there's a little info just in case you're wanting to like replicate something similar to this. And how many pieces you would need depending on how many people are going to be at your party or how many favors you want to do. Or actually decorations. Because you could just put for these around your house and they'd be fun little decorations here and there. But let me cut these out. I'll be right back. Okay, we got our pieces cut, and look how pretty. This thing cuts so clean. It cuts really nice. I do use a shim, the shim on my magnetic mat on the Anna Griffin Elite, but it cut out so nice. And then look at this star. Look at all the embossing. Like, these cut out really, really good. Like, they're really nice. So, okay, so then what I do now is, and then I have these 2 pieces. They're already sitting on the table, so I'm just going to go ahead and use these. Now, if I really wanted to get after it, I could emboss this one to make it even more fun. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, I got this writing embossing folder, and right, isn't that great? Now, I could technically go over this in some like gold gilding wax or some white pigment ink or something like that. Because it's going to go like this. And then this was, let me tell you, like, so it's not exact science, right? So this is like just a hair over 1.25 inches, instead of the 1.5 inches, because it was already there, right? And then this one is 1 inch, so it still looks really cool. But actually, I was just kind of thinking I could go over this. Like, we could actually put some gold on that if we want to. What if we put some gold on that? Or maybe a gold ink pad. I wonder what that would look like. I think it'll be really nice. Let me see. Oh, Encore. I've got my Encore. Oh, actually, I have the Anna Griffin. I don't know where it's at. I've got the Anna Griffin one. I'm not sure where it's at. I don't see it. Where are you, Gold Anna Griffa? Anna Griffin? I don't know. I don't see it. I don't know what I do with it. But I have my Encore here, and Encore is really nice too. Gold metallic ink. Let's see what happens. Wait, let's get some scratch paper. Oh, right. You'll get a little shimmer, and then look at all that detail. Right? Yeah, like you can just do your own backgrounds on this. Like, these are so fun, and they're, if you wanted just to try out a technique, like these are a fun way to do that, because it's not a keepsake, it's just something fun, right? And that looks pretty cool, right? That is pretty neat. Okay, not as shimmery as I was hoping, but it definitely gave it depth and some dimension, so that's pretty cool. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna like squeeze the sides of this. And then what you want to do is you want to, generally you're supposed to, or how it is you put the one with the little notch in it, right? Goes in first. And I just push it, just gently push it down. And then use my fingers to kind of try to help crease it. And the notch is so you can open it, right? And then this one will keep it closed so you can't see the contents. And so you're just going to kind of, I just help it down on the score line, and then I just squeeze the tip of it. And then boom, it's closed. That's all you have to do. Like, isn't that cool? And then I'm doing this first because whenever I would get in, would do it, I would decorate first, thinking, oh, I'll decorate it first while it's flat. I don't pay attention when I, how it is going to be, for where the, like this one, it looks fine, but this had to go on top because I did not want the piece. I don't want it to be like this, where these pieces are sticking up. I want them to be down to where they look cleaner. And I decorated this one flat. Well, I didn't even I wasn't paying attention that, oh, there's to get it to where they're down, you have to do it in a certain way, So if I go ahead and put this together first, then I don't have to worry about it. I'll be looking at it properly because I'll be like, oh, I don't want it on that side. I want it on this side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere these pieces to get these 3 pieces together to wrap it around. But first, I'm going to use tape runner just so I have adherence now, but then I'm also going to put some glue on it. So then it can have a more permanent hold. I'm just going to line this up in the center. And this is that gibberish writing, so you don't have to really worry about, like, technically if it's right side up or not. You can't really tell. It's just one of those nondescript things. And then what I want to do is, oh wait, it goes this way. So we have to go this way. The length is to wrap around, and you're wrapping it like this. So let's go ahead and put some around this one. And we're going to try to line it up in the center-ish. Like that, kind of. That looks kosher. That looks pretty good to me. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop a little bit more tape on this. Oh, wait, I did this wrong. Ugh. Guys, I did this wrong. Farfig Nugan. Dang it. Oh, I did it wrong. I totally did it wrong. It is supposed to go the long ways. It's supposed to go this way. Shoot. Okay. I can keep this. It's fine. This one, I'll have to figure out something else to do because that is no bueno. Okay, hold on. I got an extra piece here. It's fine. Hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay. I gotta get out again. Okay, and then we have enough adhesive on the back of there. So we're gonna line this up in the middle. Try this again. Line this up in the middle. That pretty much looks like the middle. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, because it goes 4 inches wide. and then it wraps around, right? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to just put the adhesive down the center of that one on the back. And some glue for longevity. And you could do the other stars too if you want to. It's up to you. How much you want to get with it, right? I'm going to do it like that though. I think it's just fine. And then I'm just going to try to put this in the middle. And then just wrap it around. Like so. And then try to line these two up. These guys here up. And then I just take and crimp the edges of the stars. If they're like pointed up. And just try to like crimp them around. And that way, right? Isn't that the cutest? Oh my goodness. So then what I want to do is I'm going to take my curling ribbon. And do I want to do red or do I want to do my blue? I think I'm going to do, we could do the blue. And then what I'll do is I'll cut out a red star instead to go in the middle of the big star. So what I'm going to do is try to find middle-ish of this. And then just tie this around the center like this. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? And this is an alcohol one. I colored this one. It was white. And it is so fun. So try to get it lined up in the center if I can. And tie a knot. There we go. And then you can always move it back to where you want it. Like so. And then what we can do is take our scissors and we can curl it. So I look for the way the direction is, and you want it to be going on the inside of where it's curling. You want to go with the curl. Like that. And the same with this one. Like this one, it's curling this way. It's like going that way. So I'm going to put the scissors on the inside of the curl. And then just pull against the edge of the scissors. You're holding it, not pressing, just holding it and pulling against the edge of the scissors. So like this. So on the inside, so see it's curling like that. You're going to put it on the inside of the curl. You're going to put it on the edge. You're going to gently hold, and then just pull. Like you're like pulling down and away from you to get it to curl like that. And if a piece doesn't, go, you can put it back on there on the inside and then finish it off, right? Get it more curly. And so there we go there. And then now what I want to do is right? How great is that? Now what we want to do is we want to take our little star. We want to put a dimensional on this one. I just get one of these guys. An Anna Griffin little medium, smallish dimensional. And then I'm just going to stick it right. I'm actually going to go just a hair up and then stick the center right below where that knot would be. And put it in the middle. Like so. And then I want to get a red star instead of the blue one. I'm going to get a red. Let me get a red one. Oh, I don't actually want it on. I don't want it on the knot. I want it like below the knot. Okay, and then I just want a red star here. Right there. Here's a strip of paper. I can probably get that punched out of this one. Oh, can I? I think that'll go. Oh yeah, it went perfect. Just fine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put another. Let's see, I wonder, can I get one of these? Was I able to? No, it's too big. So I had to use the tiny ones. The Anna Griffin tiny ones on this guy. Because that's so small. Look, it's one of those tiny, tiny ones. And then we just pop that in the center. And it was easier if I used my tweezers. But, right? Right? How cute is that? I mean, and that is a pretty great party favor, right? And then you can open it up, and you can still put all your goodies in there and get them filled up, right? And then close them back up, and they're good to go. Toss them in a box till the party, right? And boom, you're golden. Isn't that great? I think these are so fun. They use up your scraps. They are a hoot. And they're quite decorative, I think. I think they're pretty decorative. And then you can use pattern paper. You can use plain cardstock. You know, however fancy you want to get is up to you. Sky's the limit on that, right? And so there it is. That's what I wanted to share with you. Let me know what you think. What did you think of the punch board? Do you have this one? Have you used it? And because you could even use these just to, for a gift. You could put nail polish in them for your girlfriends, or things like that, nail wraps, or earrings, an earring and necklace set or something like that. I mean, yeah, you can do all kinds of things with them, but yeah, I just think they are so fun. And there is another punch board used, not collecting dust. Yay! And a great way, right? 4th of July coming up. These will be fun little table decorations. I think they were a hoot. So bust out your stars, bust out your different dyes to decorate things. These would make great tea party favors as well if you did them up in pink and gold and with the lace doilies and stuff. I think they would be so fun. Your pretty pattern papers and stuff. If you want to do a little tea party, I think they'd be great. But you could do some of those paper flowers. You can make some paper flowers or get the paper flowers and glue flowers onto the top of them with some lace, like actual lace trim and stuff. Oh, they'd be some pearls. Oh, they'd be so pretty. But anyhow, let me know what you guys think. Thanks so much for hanging out. Until next time, happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.